Hey guys, welcome to Borderlands 4, and today I'm going to show you how you can become pretty much overpowered with any of the Vault Hunters early on. There are a number of legendaries we can farm in a few specific spots even early on that will help a ton with boss clearing speed, taking down enemies super quickly, and even getting quasi-immortality. Plus I'm going to show you an XP farming method. Even though I don't really recommend doing any of that, you may still want it, so let's dive right in. Also, a quick word from today's sponsor. DK Online is a classic MMORPG that combines the nostalgic feel of old-school MMO adventuring with the free-to-play model. Here, you're free to make your own adventure, as there are tons of activities to do, both solo or in a group. From dungeon runs, to world exploration, all the way to defeating unique monsters and getting their power to transform into them, getting unique buffs in the process as well. Taking part in these activities also provides amazing rewards, high-level gear, and premium items via the game's achievement system that tracks all of your progression. And speaking of free, players can also get a huge boost by claiming the free Season 3 First Steps DLC right now, which includes 7 premium buffs and 1,000 in-game points. Totally check out DK Online by following the links down below and get the free Season 3 DLC on top. Plus, a big shout out once again to the team for sponsoring today's video. Now, right from the get-go, we actually get a very strong legendary farm spot from literally one of the first early on boss encounters we get from the main campaign, and that's going to be Splash Zone here south of the main region. Once you finish that main story quest, you're going to notice Moxie's big Encore machine spawning across the boss arena, which is now going to let you repeat that boss fight as many times as you want. But there are 3 very strong legendaries here to look out for, and the most important of which being this legendary Torgue shotgun called the Lead Balloon. Now this literally is a face melter and has been carrying me all the way to the end game and even beyond that. So this has 2 firing modes. One is the impact, which launches 3 projectiles, kind of like 3 balloons that explode into the air, further releasing other smaller projectiles at the enemy's feet that definitely stack up a ton of damage very quickly, so very good against large bosses. But you can also go with the sticky mode if you want to use it from further away, so that's also going to be powerful. Besides this, I've also noticed that it can spawn with literally any of the elements in the game, and it can even have other manufactured parts spawning on it randomly. So for example, in one of my other playthroughs, I even got a version with Jacob's ricochet projectiles, which made it absolutely insane. But even in its default state, it's still a very good option to have. Now, technically, there are 2 more legendaries that you're often going to see from this boss, and I was lucky to get both of them in one of the runs. So in this case, one of them is the Fireworks legendary shield, and this is going to give you auto-homing missiles, both when defeating enemies and on armor segment breaks. And they are actually very strong. Those missiles can even one-shot regular foes. It helps a ton with clearing speed whenever you're fighting large groups, especially if you don't have enough AoE or have long CDs, and even against boss fights, it's going to make its presence noticeable since the damage increase is going to definitely be good. And speaking of that, you also have the self-replicating jelly as an ordnance grenade. In this case, this is going to, like the name implies, spawn other grenades after the first one, so it can literally stack a ton of very quick damage. Again, this can also spawn with any of the elements. It has a lot of charges, so it's one of the best nukes at this stage until a little bit later. Now, at around level 15, you're going to unlock your enhancement slot, which is this one right here, well, to the right side. And if you farm the previous boss encounter, or if you're at the current time farming that boss encounter, you should probably look out for some of these enhancements that buff specifically the weapons we're using. So some of the ones I recommend are the ones that enhance Torgue licensed weapons. In this case, either the ones that increase damage by a percentage, but I prefer the one that increases the damage by 25% and increases the AoE range by 100%, which means you're going to have more chances to actually hit the targets. Otherwise, even the plus 50% gun damage one works really great. Some of the others I recommend that are also very strong, like I mentioned in the other video, includes both of the Jacob's ricochet bonuses. So both the one that increases your ricochet by 1 or the one that has a 40% chance to cause ricochets on anything, not just critical hits. So that's literally going to be a face melter if you play with Jacob's weapons. Even Vladov, 30% chance to launch an extra projectile, works really great if you're going with Vladov weapons. These work consistently, some of the best at the early stages. And of course, make sure that you get gun damage or appropriate stats on them depending on your build. Now, if you want a lot more enhancements, we can get a ton of them from a trio boss fight right here in a place called the Pitted Stain, which coincidentally is also one of the best XP farming methods in the game. But full disclaimer, I don't recommend farming XP. Just follow the main story, do it at your own pace, take on the side content and the open world. It's not worth it, and you're gonna have a much better post-main campaign way of farming XP even quicker. If you must, do it, but for the time being, we're going to use this for enhancement slots. So this is going to be a trio boss that's preceded by 5 enemy waves. And in this case, each of the 3 bosses drops their own separate loot. And in this case, as you can see, it actually drops a ton of enhancements. So if you're looking for a ton of them to hopefully create a build at this stage, you can definitely start with it. And it doesn't take too long. It's about like 2 to 3 minutes to fully clear this out. If you want XP stats on it, it gives you like a quarter of a level for the 2 to 3 minutes it takes to complete it. And if you were to complete a story mission, for example, you would take like an hour for just 1 level. So it's definitely much quicker, but again, not worth it just for that. It's mostly for those enhancements. Now, about 4 to 5 hours into the main campaign, you're going to storm on a very important fortress, which has been featured a lot in the pre-launch campaign over here. And once you defeat that boss, you're going to open up a faction mission right here south of the launch pad. So this is called Null and Void. I highly encourage you to actually complete it, because at the end of it, you're going to unlock Sludge Maw, which is a boss that you cannot actually get otherwise, at least not from my knowledge, and it's just one of the many examples like these from side quests. But in this case, it can actually have a chance to drop something really cool for you. So if you want some quasi-immortality, you can actually get another alternative shield, which is the Onion. And this comes with a Shallowed Shell, so pretty much on armor segment break, it grants immunity to damage for 2 seconds. Now, keep in mind that this is going to work on every single shell break, and since you have like 4 of those shells, every individual break, so up to 4 of them, will give you 2 seconds each. Keep in mind, however, that if a certain enemy damage exceeds the threshold of 1 shell, so for example, if an enemy takes the equivalent damage of 3 shells in 1 single shot, 3 shells will be destroyed and only 1 instance of 2 seconds immunity will be given to you. Meaning that you can still get close to one-shotted if the value of the incoming damage exceeds that of the shield itself combined with your own HP, assuming that your shield is very underleveled compared to the enemies you're fighting, but that's pretty extreme. Now, you probably noticed that I was melting the boss with one of these heavy ordnances just now, and that's actually the promised streamer. This is going to launch stationary projectiles that each fire a beam forward. And it actually drops from, I believe, the 3rd or so main story boss encounter, which is from Oppressor, right here on this side of the map. Don't stress too much about it if it doesn't drop for you, but I just wanted to showcase it because it's actually a very strong alternative, maybe even a better one than the previous jelly grenade we were talking about. So this is going to let you stack a lot of these beams into the target, especially the further back you are, so you will see a ton of continuous damage being dealt that can literally like melt faces so quickly. So in this case, definitely give it a go a few times. If it drops, perfect. If not, the previous grenade was the alternative I wanted to provide anyway. But we have all of this damage, we have all of this survivability. What we need next is a little bit more range, and there's actually a very strong sniper rifle that's making a return from previous Borderlands games, and that's going to be the complex root. Still functions exactly the same, and it's absolutely crazy in terms of damage, helps a ton, especially against some of these order enemies, and just like before, it spawns additional diverging projectiles along the path, meaning that it's going to be great both on the line traveling towards the target, but you can be like super far away from it. It's like medium to far range, so you do have to be careful about that, but otherwise just absolutely blasts targets. You can get it with pretty much any elemental combination between 2 combinations. So you will find this right here at an order bunker called Tipping Point, also early on. Do make sure, however, you progress the first like 3 to 4 missions until you get the power to destroy that organic immunity armor on targets and on places. So once you are here, you're going to find the canister to destroy the entrance pretty much onto the left side. If you pay attention, you're going to notice that there's a big vent that is currently not functioning. So if you go inside, it's going to give you access to the upper platform with the device over here. Simply grab it, get close to the entrance, destroy it, and you can then navigate all the way to the back of the dungeon. And here you're going to get a very interesting boss encounter, which has a chance to give you, in this case, this really strong sniper. So it's pretty much going to one-shot or two-shot them, and even if you don't one-shot them on the first try, the other smaller projectiles on the way will definitely do the job. And finally, there's only one more thing that I recommend doing, which is to go ahead and unlock your vault. This is going to be one of the first vaults you can encounter, but at the end of it, you get another boss that you can repeat, and you're also going to get an upgrade for your jetpack. You might have noticed that it doesn't have much charge and it takes quite a lot to recharge. Well, completing these vaults is going to give you quicker recharge on that. So to unlock your first vault, you're going to need the 3 key fragments for them. I'm going to show you the location for each and every single one of them just a little bit, but if you want to see their specific general location, that's going to be revealed by order silos. You will have 3 order silos in the first region that you can go ahead, activate, and will reveal that specific location. But just to be quicker, the first one is going to be further west, right here around this village by the seaside. It's going to be on one of the tables. Another one is going to be inside of a cave opening, easy to reach here around the center parts of the area, very close to the Horus boss encounter. And finally, the third one is going to be here by the Rosemary Reserve. You're going to notice a facility and you need to go below it. In this case, if you pay attention to this side over here, you can rip a vent, go beneath it, and you're going to find it in the hands of an unalive enemy. Take it and now you're pretty much good to go. And now that you've got all the 3 fragments, this will reveal the final location of the Vault of Inceptus, in this case, in the eastern part of the map, which you can go ahead now open as it's going to be at the top of a hill. The boss fight is also really cool, but at the end of it, on the other side, you're going to get this upgrade to your jet thruster, so now your recharge with them will be a little bit quicker. But this is something you can stack with the other vaults out there you're going to encounter. And that pretty much concludes today's video. Now, if you found any other interesting legendary in other locations that really changed your build up, totally let me know down below in the comments. In the meantime, if you found this video useful or if you enjoyed it, a sub to the channel would help a ton. And also don't forget to activate that notification bell for more content like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.